Here's the video for sharing files remotely with Google. Trying to make this simply as possible. I don't even know if one's existing out there. But I do got, there's a lot of patients out there who share imaging files, CDs with with doctors and professionals, and sometimes you can either normally it's an easy thing to use WeTransfer.com. Um, this website very safe, very easy to use. Um, if you're good at dragging and dropping, and so there are ways to do that, but there's sometimes incorrect ways to do it where people end up sending shortcuts, little tiny shortcut files that are not even the file. I'm going to show you how to do it with Google Drive. If you do not have a Google email, where you been is my question. Time to get a Google email account. There's so much to do with Google. Um, Not just simply, look, see, Google's even responding. One of my phones is turned on. Um, so even like with Google Maps, if you look at my map, I mean, it's so cool how when I zoom out, this is where I've been literally around the world, and it's just so cool to keep track of that, and that's through the many years that I've been around. So and Google Calendar, sharing calendar, everything's on your phone. I just love it. But here's the thing we're going to is Google Drive. Google Drive not only gives you 15 gigs where Dropbox gives you free, 2 free gigs of data to use. It still comes with kind of hassles. Google, you don't need an application, but you could use it. So when you go, when you need to get a Google account, just go to Google and just do sign in, and it'll actually ask you to create an account. You know you're signed in when you have your picture up here, or it just has the first letter of your name. It'll have like a big R or whatever your name is. Now, so again, Google, you're signed in. You're going to click on this little hash kind of checker box. I don't even know what to call that. Go to Drive. Now, in here, of course, I have a lot of information in here, a lot of files, but you would see simply maybe a how-to Google Drive document. If you want to keep things locally, where, for example, everything in here for me is right here, Google Drive. So if I look in there, they'll all be the same. They synchronize all the time. That way I just can drag and drop things locally. It automatically will put it up on the web for me. To do that, you would just simply go here, get back up in sync for Windows. That's all you would do. But don't worry about that now. We're going to show you a simple way where you just simply use the browser. So this is Google Chrome. As you see the tabs, I can go wherever I want to. I'm going to click on New. I'm going to go click on Folder. And let's say I want to create a RML image, let's just say MRI cervical. All right, so I create that. So now automatically it creates that folder. I'm double clicking in that folder. Now I got nothing in here. When you put the CD in, as you know, I don't even know if I can expand and move this thing. Like, that's what I don't like about Snagit. It doesn't let you move things around. However, when you put the CD in, you're going to get that green box that says, what do you want to do? Choose what you want to do with these files. No, right now I just put it inside. Okay, right now I get that green flag on the top right, says tap to choose what to do with these files. I'm clicking that. It's going to, you can see a little portion of it here. This is the one you want, open folder to view files. Once that's open, you're going to see here, okay? All those files are listed. Now let's just say that doesn't happen. All it did, the CD went inside. Open a folder, any folder you want to, even if it's a folder on the desktop, even if it's your photos, it doesn't really matter. I could be over here, I could be anywhere. Over here on the left side, um, so for example, it may look like this. So you'll see home, share, view. Just make sure that this navigation pane is turned on. So it'll be pressed and you'll see all these areas that you can go to. These are more subdirectories on your computer. So again, home, share, view, navigation pane, make sure that's just turned on. It's usually on by default. When you scroll down, you're going to see C, and then you'll I have a share drive, but here's your drive. It'll probably be named after maybe the facility you went to, maybe named after yourself. So this, of course, is if I left click once, not double click, left click once, double click will probably run the CD. If the CD runs, just cancel it out, cancel out the program. Now we're going to come here, okay, to all the files. When you click on any one file, you're going to hold the control button and select the letter A as in all, or A as in Apple, or A as in Adobe. So once they're all selected, you're going to put your mouse on top of any one of these blue icons and left click and hold. Left click and hold that button down. As you start moving the file, you'll see it's going to give you the number of files that you've highlighted. That's the important part. You'll see that number 9. If it says 1 or if the blue came off, then you did it wrong. Like some people do this and accidentally grab it, you did it wrong. You want to be able to control A, everything's blue, left click and hold and drag using your mouse. And once you get on top of Google Chrome, you can see what it's saying. Drop files instantly, upload them to that folder. I let go, boom. Now those files are going to be uploaded. And so those green check boxes are just going to go. It just tells you how much time is left. Majority of the time, they only need this DICOM folder. That's all I ask for. But it's just beneficial to send the whole entire file. Let them choose. But this course can get pretty big. As you should see, I have 74% because I have a lot of imaging on here. All right, so you don't have to sit around as long as this stays open. While this is happening, I'm just going to click that little caret button here to just get that out of my way. As you see, it just says 1 minute left open remaining. I don't really care. Now the sharing fun. Here's where your directory is. This is the root directory. If you scroll down, you'll see that RML, that's where we are. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the root directory, RML, right click. Gives you a lot of cool options here, but look at the share button. Boom, share. I'm going to give share to whatever email address I want. So I type in my other name, boom. And I can either make myself an editor, viewer, commenter. So I just make myself an editor. You can make even the doctor an editor, doesn't matter. These are my scans for review, etc., etc. And whatever. Once you click on send, now that person is going to have it. I don't like doing it that way particularly because some people just don't know what they're doing when they log in. So for example, if I go to, let's see if I can find my drive. No, I mean not to open the developer's version. I'm going to go to Firefox and go to Gmail. And this is now logged in as my Jasper account, and you can see it says that they get the email. Is exactly what it will look like on their part. Click, yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I can simply, what they'll do is they'll just be able to click open, and that's exactly what they'll do. It'll bring them to their drive, and shared with me, that's what they're going to see. And then they can simply right click and download. Boom. And they'll just download the necessary files, and then they're good. But sometimes someone else wants it, and someone else wants it, and you have to go in all the time. All right? We don't want to do that because I'm not going to hold this here forever. I'm just doing this for one-time shot, normally for one doctor, two doctors, or whoever. So if I right-click, go to share, I can simply right here get link, change to anyone with the link. Now, no one can hack this thing because they would have to guess this huge path of a number right here. This is what they would have to guess in order to find out. So when I copy this link, now it doesn't matter whose email address. I don't have to worry about email addresses. So simply, if I go open back up to Firefox, and let's do it this way. I'm going to go back to Google, go to Gmail. I am going to compose and, oops, send it to myself, link to share, boom, send it off, and close. All right, so now that that's sent, I come into Firefox, and anybody you send that link, you can just simply keep sending that link to one email to after another email. You don't have to go into Google Drive to figure anything out. So once I click on Gmail, now there's going to be a direct email from me, and I think that's not the same one. Oh, you know what probably happened? I probably didn't give Google Chrome enough time to send that file. Probably shut down the browser too soon. Oh wait, you know what happened? Let me trash that one. New share. I'm just going to name that something new. Send and come on. I forgot that I had an automatic folder continued. For my email, I have an automatic rule. So anyway, clicking on here, they're just going to get a normal link. So once you click on the link, it'll open up either if they have whatchamacallit, if they have Google Chrome, or if they don't, then and they're not logged in. So for example, if I copy, not that you really need to see this, but if I come here, sign out, and now that I'm not signed in, it'll just like a general here. So you can see that there's no signed in person, so they can be someone who doesn't have Gmail, and it'll just look simply just like a big screen with your files. If they right click, or actually they can download them from this icon. Once they hover over, boom, download. All right, so that is pretty much it, and I'm going to close that guy out. The other thing, which is nice, because with Google Chrome, with Google, is you don't have to use the browser if you have the downloaded drive to your computer, which once that's enabled, it's a little technical to set up. Once you just download, file the executable, etc. Anything I put in here goes straight in. Yeah. Oh wow, it doesn't even open. That was me back in 1997, maybe. So this is cool because actually anything I put in this folder, it automatically will sync. And the only problem with Google, what some people have a problem with slower old machines, let's say if you're trying to do something like Zoom and you have files that are synchronizing at the moment, well, unfortunately, you might have some system bogging down a little bit. So it'll actually show up in here, which it's not loading right now for some reason. Oh, there it is. So you can see right now this is preparing to sync, and it's going to scan every file once it turns on. But once it's not synchronizing anymore, you're fine. But other than that, it's just one of those things. I tend to right click, or click on these three dots, and quit backup and sync. Once that's turned off, it doesn't really matter. But let's see, actually, with it turned on. So I just turned it back on, and with this processing, the files that we put in there just before, you're going to see this just pop up right here locally on my drive, and I don't have to worry about going to the browser to get anything. But that's just for for local reasons. I forget what we named it, RML something. Boom. There it is. And you can see anything that's here is shared with people. Anything that's has that sharing. And a lot of this stuff I believe you can do it from Google now. Google Drive sharing, you can't see it from there, unfortunately. Come here. So if I right click it from here, you should be able to see it. Google Drive and share. So I can still do the same thing. And which is also cool is, let me see if this is even done. No, it's not done. All right, so once it's done, what I'm going to be doing, I'll just delete it from here. It'll delete it from the web, so I don't have to worry about going back into Google Chrome, as I'm doing right now. Since it's not done synchronizing, I don't really care. So this is the RML. Right click, scroll down, remove, done. I always tend to do this, go to the trash and empty out the trash, because it does apply to your whole allotment, and then once that's done, you're done. Anyway, hope that was rather informative. If not, let me know, I'll make it more succinct.